Hi, I'm Ingmar, and I made this film in order to inform you about the IWOLTE modules. I thought it was easier to do this in this way than writing it all down on paper. And since I had this mind map, I think the easiest way is for me to talk to this mind map. I hope you can follow me, and I hope you technically also could open this film, which probably you have done since you have it in front of you now. So let's go to work. The idea is that I want to explain IWOLTE and the reason why IWOLTE looks the way it does and why it has the content it has. As you might remember, IWOLTE stands for integration of vocational knowledge. So integration was the key word. And the idea was that, and the background was that the integration between vocational education that uses much of the time in school-based and sometimes work-based learning, and the integration, the communication between the school and the workplace was very poor. The vocational teacher might call and ask the mentor, could you take this and this student for a month, 3 weeks or some? And it would say yes, and sometimes the vocational teacher didn't visit, and the student came back, and that was that. So that was it wasn't always like that, but sometimes it was very poor communication between the two places. So we designed the IWOLTE project to give 2 courses, one course that was aimed at vocational teachers and one for the supervisors, but they could go on each other's course, and then in reality then we started to realize the courses we had a mixed group really. But the idea was to sort of expand the knowledge for these roles. And if we start with the vocational teachers, we have the course for vocational teachers here, and as you see we have 3 modules: personnel training and development, interviewing, surveying, construction or case study, and different ways of organizing vocational education. As you see here, vocational teachers were to expand their knowledge on a more aggregated level. So we want to go out of the school setting, out of their vocational teacher role, because they normally had a vocational teacher education, so they were rather well trained in teaching, and also in the role of teaching. So we wanted to expand their role, and we got this inspiration from you might say from a human resource point of view. Within the human resource field, we have a field content that deals with personnel training and development, and in this field there's a central concept of analyzing training need, and we thought that was something to focus for the vocational teachers. They might be more focused on what is competence, and if they go out to the student workplaces, they might be better equipped to understand the role competence and what competence is, and maybe they also could work sort of as a consultant to the workplace. So as you see here, we write that this module was meant to give the vet teacher a role to help at the workplace, understanding competence and how to analyze competence need in the workplace. Also how to plan a vocational course planning. This part could be described as a short course in human resource development. The reason for the next module, interviewing, it was mostly interviewing, was that one important piece of the course was that the vocational teachers will go out on a field study, and for this field study they needed to be good interviewers, and also in the role of working with human resource development, you use interviewing as a tool to analyze development need, analyze competence. So we thought interviewing was a good thing, and interviewing, I mean, that is always good. I mean, it really is training in communication. So this module was meant to train the student, the vocational teacher, in scientific method. In combination with module D, it will give a tool in collecting data in a competence need analysis. The module could be described as a short course in scientific method. So this was combined with this, really, because apart from reading about personnel training, they also did a field study. And with the third module for the vocational teachers, we wanted to broaden their knowledge about how vocational teaching, vocational education is organized. The focus of this module is on an organizational level. The aim is that participants shall get knowledge in how vocational education can be organized. We had a book that had in which you could read about quite a lot of different ways of organizing vocational education from different worlds, or different countries, and also some projects in Sweden. So if we go over now to look at the course for workplace supervisors, or the mentors, we can call them, the workplace mentors. We wanted them to be better mentors, and as you see here, there are three main ingredients. Mentorship as such. This module focuses knowledge in mentorship is more theoretical. Understanding mentorship, different kinds of mentorship, and the next module, supervision in practice, we might as well have called it training in mentorship. This module was aimed at training the skill how to develop good ways to mentor students. And the third module we called learning in working life. We could also have called it understanding learning. The focus on this module is in learning theory. The aim is that the mentor shall be more competent in understanding how we learn, and particularly how we learn vocational competence. Those are things that many mentors haven't really thought about. So the idea was to see their role as an educator. So these were the 6 modules in IWOLTE. Maybe I can say something about how we, after we have planned this, we can say something about the realization of IWOLTE. As you see here, the IWOLTE project was realized by us at the university. We realized it as a university course for 2 7-point points. They were doing this in half time, and the hours mentioned, if you look at the curricula, we say that it was 60 hours per module in all. 360 hours is estimated student time. This doesn't mean that we have lessons at so many lessons. Rather, lessons were carried out each second week, 4 hours approximately 10 times. Makes it 40 lessons all together. Most of the time was spent by the students themselves, doing literature and also doing case studies and so. And this was when we did IWOLTE, this was a university course, and we thought that it might be a more too demanding course, but since the roles are such, we had to make it so advanced, and some students dropped out. We thought they were too demanding, especially that was the case for the supervisors. Then, as you might remember, the IWOLTE project was followed by the TWOLTE in which partner countries realized courses that were based on the IWOLTE, but they had no, since that was not made by universities, they were not limited to the ECT points that we were. So in reality, as you can read here, most of the courses made by the partners were around 50 to 20 hours, for instance, 2 whole days. With 2 weeks in between, but the structure varied very much. Some used less, some used more. But that was, I think, none of the partners used more than say 3 or 4 days altogether, and one partner even used, I think, only 1 day. And I think that if we think about the transfer to a Certimente, it's not realistic to make a very comprehensive, a very advanced course of the modules. I think we have to, for practical reasons, stick to, let's say, a couple of days, something like that. Now, just to finalize this discussion, as you see here, it might look rather advanced. We could put a lot of things in these modules, in the content. And as you also understand, there was a specific background, and background was on integration, and the reason we put some things in these modules, and maybe you find that some of the modules aren't really useful or doesn't fit in, but I think we could twist them a little bit, because if we look at as I write here, in this Certimente application, the division of the 2 target groups are not specified, so we are free to do our own interpretation and combination of the modules, and the modules aren't really specified in the application. They are just specified on the names of the modules. So I think we'll have to stick to the names, but we could interpret the content of the group, the content of the different modules in our own way, because we have to combine these modules, these 6 modules. We have to combine with the definitions we have just made on tutors and mentors competence. So I'll go on thinking about that. But I hope you enjoy this film, and that you got some more knowledge about the background of IWOLTE. So I'll finish here.